Mary Stopes, born on 15th October 1880. She died on 2nd October 1958. Mary Charlotte Carmichael Stopes was a British author, paleobotanist, and women's rights campaigner. Mary Stopes said, "You can take no credit for beauty at 16, but if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing." Stopes was the youngest person in Britain to receive a Doctor of Science degree from the University College London, the first woman to earn a PhD in botany from the Botanical Institute in Munich. Her book, Married Love, published in 1918, aimed to end the sex ignorance of the adult populace and was condemned by the church and banned from the US. Married Love's first 2,000 copies were snatched up within a fortnight, and by 1938, it had sold 820,000 copies worldwide. Married Love made its way into the desperate hands of men and women alike, tackling the epidemic of sex ignorance, prompting a tidal wave of correspondence, and establishing Stopes as the closest thing to an expert on sexual equality by the early 20th century ever had. In Married Love, Stopes points out that men have mainly run the world, and that consequently the women's side of sexual life had found little or no expression. Woman, she wrote, has been condemned to man to mold herself to the shape decided by man whenever possible. Women had bowed to man's desire over her body, and regardless of its pulses, he approaches her or not as is his will. Mary Stopes said, "You can take no credit for beauty at 16, but if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing." An expression which must have come really from a message sent by God to rectify such a beautiful body God has given. And sometimes the body needs a mechanic to rectify it, and I think she was been sent by God as a Messiah, as a prophet, to redeem those faults. Such a fantastic, beautiful woman, which have cleaned up to a certain extent a lot of the pain of our mothers and sisters. We can give them everything, but if we cannot make them happy, she was able to make to a certain extent. It's not possible, but still it has been done to a certain extent. Mary Stopes said, "You can take no credit for beauty at 16, but if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing." You can take no credit for beauty at 16. At 16, everything is available for you. You do not have to do, it happens. Yeah, everybody approaches you. Everybody keeps giving you at 16. And you are at the top of the world. At the age of 16, the mountain comes to you. You do not have to go to the mountain. That was the connecting at the age of 16. But if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing. So now when everything comes to you, you start thinking, "I am what? I am everything." That ego enters into your head and you forget to do your duty. You forget to follow up. Yes, every growth is a follow-up. The moment you do not have a follow-up, you are crushed, broken into pieces. Follow-up, continuity is growth. You can take no credit for beauty at 16, but if you're beautiful at 60, it will be your own soul's, it will be your soul's own doing. At the age of 16 and 60, recently I saw one article from the Singapore media. They put two pictures of a 16-year-old girl and a 60-year-old lady, and it said, "Look," and both were looking alike. The 16-year-old and the 60-year-old lady. 60-year-old lady was looking the 16-year-old. The exercise and the regular routine helped her to look like 16. It is possible. Even Dr. Paul Bragg said, at the age of 77,000 men and women does scuba diving, and they feel as young as 20s. Yes. If you clean up your pipelines, if you follow it up. If you do not follow, then you are in trouble. At the age of 16, everything comes to you free of cost. But you must understand, when everything comes to you free of cost, everybody start looking at you. That is the time you should start giving the respect. You start working hard to make sure that it's not one-way traffic. If something comes to you, you have to be thankful. A person who takes anything, everything from a person, never returns anything back, is called a robber. The robbery starts at that age. You will not be knowing. The pipeline starts slowly corroding. It starts blocking. And slowly, the beauty and the youth will start coming down, because you forget to do your exercise. You forget to make sure the brains, every cell in the brain has to start working. You stop studying. Instead, you start looking outside to please other people. No. You please yourself. When you please yourself, then at the age of 60 or 120, you are ever strong. Then you do not have to worry about the hospitals and the psychologists. Do not have to worry what will happen to you. Nothing will happen. Continuity is growth. Follow-up is a must. You must make sure every day you must practice. You must do an exercise which fits your body. You must have a weighing machine to check your body weight, whether it exceeded or not for your height and for your weight. Whether the visceral fat is up to the level needed for your body, whether your cholesterol level is okay, triglycerides are okay, all those is a must for you to look every day. At the end of the day, you should know what is a bank balance. You look at your money, what you have in the bank. But this bank was very, very important to look. The eye power, whether you have done enough exercise, whether you have maintained it up. You are a mechanic. God has sent you to make sure that everything what is given is worth in millions. And you have to make sure whether you have done your eye exercise, up, down, right, left, rotation. Yes. Whether you have done your neck exercise to make sure that unnecessary fat doesn't lock it up, and it has got its flexibility. Your shoulder rotation, wrist rotation, hip, that is a physical exercise. And then the pranayama, inhale, exhale, and the stomach pumping, pop, you pump, and the anuloma viloma. All that is very, very important. And then you read 1,000 pages a day or 100 pages a day. And then your regular routine is very, very important. If anything is less, one drop of your talent is left inside, you have to make sure that is cleaned up before you go to sleep. Then at the age of 60, you are called a human being. Otherwise, you are lost. You can take no credit for beauty at 16. At 16, you don't take any credit, but you are beautiful at 60. It will be your soul's own doing. At soul's own, from the 16th age, find out from where the sunlight came, how I used the sunlight, solar, where the rain came. Should I say thankful to rain by taking rainwater, harvesting? All this is connecting link. You have a land, whether you worked on the land, whether you go to the gym or worked on the land. Working the land has given you more power, and for you to understand the deep, intimate relationship with the nature. When one loses a deep, intimate relationship with the nature, then temples and churches and masjids and the hospitals become very important. Other people's money becomes very important. The greed becomes important. Egoism becomes important. Selfishness enters into your body. All these are diseases. Understand that. It corrodes. And then you look left and right and nobody is looking at you. It will become like a coronavirus, so people run around, run away. Mary Stowe is such a wonderful lady who has gone through the pain and had got the guts like a prophet to talk about the equality of the men and women, trying to make sure that the deep, intimate relationship that you have to love, you have to come back to your house and first love your father and mother. So when you marry your husband and wife, and the children, and then the joint family. When that is been broken, then everybody lives in pain. That pain cannot be carried for you to make you look young at the age of 60. This connecting link is very, very, very important. That a joint family system. From the joint family, the love is very important. Not just creating a joint family system. The love of the land and the love of the person to understand. If you do not look into the person as a scientist, to look deep inside to understand every part of your body, then who are you? You are a nobody. Mary Stowe said, you can take no credit for beauty at 16, but if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing. This is my 106th short discuss.